What are you doing? All right, I'm coming in to clean and drain. Good job. Big T, I'm coming in to clean, honey. But thank you. Blossom went to check on Stormy. All right, Blossom is done with Stormy and working on the dam. So I've rinsed the pool and I put the toys in there, but Blossom has a vision, so please don't let me get in your way, okay? Hi, Blossom. What you doing? Can we leave that in there, please? I moved it out of your building way. Thank you. Thank you. Sprout's over with Stormy. I don't have water in there yet. Let's see. So Blossom's already been visiting. It looks like Sprout's gonna go visiting. Nope, he changed his mind. And he's leaving. Thanks, Tulip. Hey, Sprout. Hey, baby. What you doing? Okay. We're demanding back scratches. Hi, Sprout. Hi, baby. I'm gonna keep this actually, okay? Thank you. I've had a few related questions come through, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk a little bit about long-term plans, release plans, social grouping, bonding, things like that. So beavers form, and they do this through their sense of smell. They remember their family for the rest of their life. And this starts when they are very young and living in their family's den, lodge. Everybody bonds based on smell. And so those family members will be remembered for the rest of their life. And that will be, if they come up on one another or in their own territory, they smell their family. And so family is okay and allowed. Beavers are highly territorial and they work together as a family. So any beaver that isn't related to the family will be met with a lot of potentially aggression, but distrust. So Tulip recognizes all of this space as her territory, and she marks her territory. She is very very protective over it, and as best as I can assume, especially with me and Colton, Colton and I are definitely part of Tulip's family. Mike and Jordan, my other two, are also welcome, but Tulip seems to have a stronger bond with me and Colton. And so there does seem, when I brought Petunia first, and now these kits, Sprout and Blossom, and even Stormy, there seems to be a certain amount of respect that Tulip gives towards me bringing these animals into the territory. And so I do not believe that I am the dominant the dominant creature in this situation. I do believe that Tulip is, but there is some level of acceptance when I am here or Colton is here and we say that it's okay. Many of you who have been following me for a while know that I am incredibly cautious whenever introducing Tulip to anything, especially a young baby beaver, not knowing if she would be aggressive. And so we've been very, very fortunate that Tulip immediately takes to these babies. And honestly, I think she may think that I birthed them or something. It's okay, that sounds really weird and creepy, but I do think that there is a certain level of Tulip recognizing that here's some new babies, it's my job to help raise them. And like regular beaver colonies, sometimes families have such a large territory that young ones can stay in the territory and find mates and build houses and be accepted. In territories that are smaller, that don't have as much resources, it is not unusual at all for the head parent beavers to push their young 2-year-olds out of the territory completely. And so this means that these bonds right now that are forming between Tulip, Sprout, Blossom, and even Stormy don't necessarily mean that they are long-term. We do believe and assume that if Tulip comes across Sprout and Blossom in the future, that smell would be familiar and Tulip would accept these kits, or even once they're grown up. But beaver society, for lack of a better word, is going to be pretty complex and not quite as cut and dry as you do with a lot of wildlife rehab. So these are things that we're learning as well as we go. So all that being said, what we are thinking is Tulip will remain here as the, sort of the head beaver or co-head beaver. And in the springtime, if we receive more kits, Tulip will, assume that position of helping care for these kits. And we will be watching this very closely as Tulip continues to get older. Tulip won't reach sexual maturity until she is probably at least 3, and I suspect that it could even take a little bit longer. These are things also that we don't have a huge understanding of. But so I'm going to assume that Tulip will continue this role of accepting these new baby beavers. She's practiced this, she has shown this, and I don't see why that would change. Sprout and Blossom, we know that Blossom is a boy. We don't know what Sprout is. And we have a really good feeling that Stormy is a girl. We have never seen any boy parts on the x-rays. My ideal situation will be to release Sprout, Blossom, and Stormy all together. This won't happen for another year and a half because beavers need to stay with us for 2 years. So let's fast forward to this spring of 2026. If we get a new kit or more than one kit, they will come in to this situation. Sprout and Blossom should take the role of as helping to raise them. However, that is something that we'll be very, very cautious of. But Sprout and Blossom will remain here for another year once we have even new kits. Same thing with the reason why we're not releasing Stormy yet is because it's going to be better for Stormy to release with another beaver. Tulip will remain, continue helping us with these things. Because we're still learning so much, and we do live in a state that classifies beavers as nuisance, we have to be very careful on how we release them, where we release them, and things like that, which is why we have the sanctuary property with this beautiful 3-acre pond. And that is our plan, is to move, most likely right now, unless something changes, Sprout, Blossom, and Stormy will actually move out to our soft release site pond and just sort of have a little practice time being out there overnight. We'll see how they do. We will provide them with shelter. We'll see how they change or alter their environment. And at that time, if they decide to leave, they can leave. And beavers are very good at climbing, digging. They can leave a fence if they want to. But we will assume that at that age, if they are ready, they're ready. Blossom and Stormy could potentially become a pair. We don't know how they would recognize a potential mate compared to family. We really, really don't understand any of that. So all of these things are new. We are working to study it. These are things that we're going to be paying close attention to. So the plan will be to release Stormy, Blossom, and Sprout together. And again, that'll be in a year and a half. We'll start them at the soft release site pond, move them out to the big pond when they're ready. They will wild up nicely. We don't have to worry about them wanting to stay close. Once their hormones are going and they are, get that sense of being, wild, so to speak, they're going to be just fine. We don't have to worry about them trying to stay close. So we'll be playing that by ear as we go. And the other interesting thing that we want to consider is if we get this new property that we're looking at that has a beaver colony, once we establish what type of beaver colony we have, is it, what's left after they've done this trapping, I am very curious to see if we are going to be able to release some of our beavers there. And that'll be just a question of if they are sexually mature and there is a potential mate opportunity, will they be allowed in? And so that's way down the road, obviously, if we get it, but that's one of the things I'm very curious in doing. So, and bananas and sweet potatoes and things like that. Once beavers are out on their own, they're going to find what they need to eat on their own. I mean, that is a nice, strong instinct that they have. I guarantee you, if they were to come across a banana or a sweet potato, they would absolutely eat it. But for the most part, they are going to eat what is available to them, and not it will not be a problem at all that they have been fed the diet that we're feeding them. So thank you again all so much for your support, and we're just gonna keep pushing forward with these fundraiser, and we really again appreciate all of you.